everyone, Ken here with Ken's Creations and Product Reviews. Today I'm excited to bring you your first look at the new Silhouette Cameo 3. The Silhouette Cameo 3 comes with some great features and benefits, but how does it cut? Well, in today's video we're going to take a look at what comes in the box, those new features and benefits, and of course, how does the machine cut with materials. Please keep in mind, in this video, we are not going to focus on the new Silhouette Studio release because at time of filming, it has not yet been released. So we're only focusing on the machine and the features and benefits that come with it. Let's first take a look at what comes in the box.
Let's take a look at what comes in the box. When you open your Silhouette Cameo 3, you'll notice there's no manual or setup guide. You can find these at silhouetteamerica.com, or I've given you the links down below in the description. So what does come in the box? Well, of course you're going to get the Silhouette Cameo 3 cutting tool, a power cord, USB cord, a brand new shiny mat, the auto blade, and a crosscut blade. Silhouette has also given us a new handy tool that allows us to get to our Bluetooth, adjust our blade, and unscrew the blade cap for cleaning. The Silhouette Cameo 3 also comes with the basic edition of Silhouette Studio, 100 free designs, and 1 month free to the Silhouette online store. The Silhouette Cameo 3 has all of the same capabilities as the previous version, along with some added features. This Cameo features a dual carriage, so you can use 2 tools at once. The Cameo 3 features a push technology instead of a twist technology when using your tools. The great news is all of your previous accessories can be used with the Cameo 3, including blades, sketch pens, the new deep cut blade, and even some curio tools. The Cameo 3 is the only machine compatible with Silhouette's new auto blade. Anybody out there like storage? Well, the Silhouette Cameo 3 is for you. We have a pull-out compartment along the bottom of the machine. Off to the left, we have an area to store our blades, and we even have sketch pen storage along the top of the machine. The Cameo 3 also features extenders built in to the bottom storage compartment. This allows for extra support of longer material. Built into the machine are some pretty useful tools, including a manual adjustment for blades, an easy-to-use release lever for adjusting your rollers. The rollers are built out of a nice stainless steel, and the roller head now features a lock and unlock position. And of course, a hit from the Silhouette Cameo 2, the crosscut blade in the back of the machine. Compared to previous models, the Silhouette Cameo 3 is much larger and will take up more desk space. In fact, it comes in at 9 pounds and is 2 inches longer than the Silhouette Cameo 2. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the Silhouette Cameo 3 does not come with a setup guide, rather a sticker on the front instructing you to go to silhouetteamerica.com/setup. Here you will register your machine, check the box and contents of your Cameo 3, download and install the Silhouette Studio software, access the free library shapes for your Silhouette Cameo 3, claim your 1 month free Silhouette Design Store subscription, check and update your firmware, and set up your Bluetooth on your Silhouette Cameo 3. Following the setup guide is a little confusing, as it appears to be designed for the Silhouette Studio 4 release. Because of this, I was not able to get my 100 free designs. Even following the specialty instructions did not unlock the 100 free designs, which is a little bit disappointing. We're now able to plug in our USB cable into the machine and start the firmware update. Sometimes a firmware update is required for your machine to work properly. This process can take a long time, so make sure your sleep mode is either turned off or to the highest minutes so you do not interrupt the firmware update. In order to do a firmware update, you'll need to download the latest firmware from Silhouette America. Once you start the firmware update, you'll follow the on-screen instructions. This will require you to unplug and plug your machine back in and allow the firmware update to be sent to the Silhouette Cameo 3. You will note that the firmware update is in progress by the changing color on the display touchscreen. Once the firmware is updated, you will be able to finish the setup process on the screen. Set your language, turn on help icons, and view tutorials to help you get started with your brand new Silhouette Cameo 3. This would complete the setup, and now we can take a look at our menu options, including sleep mode, themes, tutorials, and Bluetooth setup. One of the great features of the Silhouette Cameo 3 is the ability to use Bluetooth and cut cord-free. Your machine is either Bluetooth ready or Bluetooth enabled. Once I've turned on Bluetooth, I should be able to cut without using any cords. However, this was a very frustrating experience, and no matter what I did, no matter the instructions I followed, I could never get my Bluetooth to properly connect to my Silhouette Studio, which is a big disappointment as this was one of the most exciting features for me. However, the review must go on, so let's go ahead and start with some cutting tests to see how the Silhouette Cameo 3 performs. For these first few tests, we're going to be using the Auto Blade. The Auto Blade must go in the left side of the dual carriage, which is also considered the red side. In order to use the Auto Blade, you must pick your material type and then tell the software to use the Auto Blade. Once you send to Silhouette, the Auto Blade adjusts for the material on the left side of the machine by tapping. The first cut test is basic shapes and intricate designs. We have a setting of 5 on our blade. Now keep in mind the Auto Blade does not choose the settings for you. All the Auto Blade does is adjust to those settings that you picked in the Silhouette Studio software. Let's take a look at the results of our basic shapes and intricate designs. Now let's use the dual carriage. For this test, we'll be using sketch pens and the Auto Blade. The Auto Blade must go on the left-hand side, which is the red side, so our sketch blades will go on the blue side. Right now, the easiest way to use the dual carriage is by cutting by line type. This might be updated in the new Silhouette Studio 4, but for now, this is the easiest way. Let's take a look how the Silhouette Cameo 3 handled sketching and cutting in the same pass. Now let's test the print then cut. Print then cut on Silhouette Cameo 3 is just like any previous edition. You'd bring your designs in, trace them, and then print them on your home printer, and then cut on the Silhouette Cameo 3. One of the great features of Silhouette Print and Cut is the ability to use the entire 12x12 mat for print and cut and the high resolution you get when using the software. Let's take a peek at our print and cut results. You are also able to use the PIXSCAN technology. This technology allows you to cut around stamps and even cut out certain shapes in pattern paper. For this test, I have 3 stamps including 1 sentiment with an offset and 3 pieces of pattern paper. Let's take a look at how well the Silhouette Cameo 3 handled the PIXSCAN technology. How did the Cameo 3 cut thicker materials? Well, let's take a look. For the test, I did use a deep cut blade at a 20 setting. The Silhouette Cameo 3 does give us an extra 2 millimeters for thick materials. However, it still has the same cutting force of 210 as featured in the previous models. This to me was a little bit of a disappointment, but let's see how it does. First up is Fun Foam. For Fun Foam, we did have to cut it twice for it to work. Next is adhesive magnet material. On this test, we did cut it twice, and it did not cut all the way through. So leaving it in the same position, we cut it another 2 times, and it did cut through the magnet material. As seen with our printable magnet sheets, our acetate sheets seem to have the same results. Even with the deep cut blade at a 20 setting, 2 cuts just didn't cut it. So we went another 2 passes, and then the Cameo 3 was able to cut through the acetate sheet. And now that brings me to my favorite test, Shrinky Dink material. I don't know why this stuff is so strong, but it is, and the Silhouette Cameo 3 could not cut through it, even with the deep cut blade set at 20 and going over the material 4 times. Shrinky Dink material is smooth on one side and fibrous on the other. Maybe if we flip it over, the Silhouette Cameo 3 might be able to cut through it. No matter what I tried, I could not get the Silhouette Cameo 3 to cut through Shrinky Dink material. So is the Silhouette Cameo 3 any quieter? Let's take a listen.
Well, there's my first look at the Silhouette Cameo 3. I know many of you watching are trying to decide between different cutting machines or if you should upgrade your current machine. Well, let's review the good, the bad, and what were they thinking. Once again, keep in mind, at time of filming, Silhouette had not released Silhouette Studio 4, which could drastically change this review. First and foremost, if you are a Silhouette fan and currently have the original or the second version, I would highly recommend upgrading to the Silhouette Cameo 3. Learning from other machine and user reviews, let's cover the good stuff. The machine comes with dual carriage, Bluetooth, extra storage, touchscreen display with sound, ability to use 12x12 print and cut, PIXSCAN technology, and a 2mm clearance to cut thicker materials. Which actually brings me to my bad stuff and what were they thinking? Even though Silhouette designed this machine with an extra 2mm in clearance, they did not increase the cutting force of the machine. The Silhouette 3 still delivers only 210 grams of cutting force, which is the same force for the previous machines. Silhouette does offer a deep cut blade for an additional purchase, but even with this, the machine will not be able to handle things like leather, balsa wood, or shrinky dinks. And even up to today, I have not been able to get the Bluetooth technology to work. As with their software, the Silhouette Cameo is not user-friendly, and users will first encounter this when they try to set up the Bluetooth technology. I was disappointed in the auto blade. I assumed it would be auto-detect my material and make adjustments based on that, when in reality, the user still has to input all of the cut settings and the auto blade just adjusts to these settings, not the material. Silhouette also did not address the sound of the machine, as it is just as noisy as the previous 2 models. Plus, keep in mind, in order to use your SVGs and other features, you'll be required to update to the Designer Edition of the software, which is a cost of $49.99 at the Silhouette website. Now, I did reach out to Silhouette America with questions. However, at time of filming, I have not heard back from them. Hopefully, many of these issues will be addressed and fixed with the Silhouette Studio 4 release. For more information on the Silhouette Cameo 3 and the differences in software, check out my blog. Also, are you curious on the new release of Silhouette Studio 4? Do you want to see the Silhouette Cameo 3 compared with other popular cutting machines? If you answered yes, make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube and follow me on all my social media sites. If you are currently shopping for a cutting machine, check out these 3 machine reviews. Also, do you know you can support Ken's Creations just by shopping? That's right, down below I've given you all the shopping links to the products used in this video. By using these links, I receive a small commission, and thank you so much for that. Don't need to buy anything right now. You can also support me on Patreon for as little as $1 while you earn rewards each month. Make sure to check that out. Well, hopefully this video helped you with your buying choice. No matter what machine you have in your craft room, I hope you enjoy every moment creating something magical. Thanks for watching.